2020 has been a year of many losses. One of those losses for us has been that we weren't able to hold Camp Erin in person as we normally do each summer, unable to gather face to face in support of our campers in their journey through grief. A part of that loss has been that we've dearly missed the opportunity to connect in person as a community of volunteers and staff. One of the ways that we bridged that distance as a team was to find each other in our writing. The volunteers and staff were asked to reflect on their own experiences of 2020 and respond to 3 prompts. How do you see the world differently? What do you miss? And what do you find hope? We gathered and arranged those responses into a collage, a group poem, a collective expression of what has been on our hearts during these unprecedented times. We asked a couple of volunteers to read that poem back to us. I give you Birdsong in Quarantimes.
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 Birdsong in Quarantimes by the volunteers and staff of Camp Erin 2020.
I now breathe the world through a mask. I see it through a shield.
The world is more fragile. I am more fragile.
I miss being able to go somewhere, anywhere, without feeling the weight of the world on my shoulders.
I miss being a person in person.
To be honest, hope is hard to find some days.
I miss hugs.
I miss hugs.
I miss hugs.
There's more pain, more suffering, and relatedly, more joy, more hope.
I see now the world closer, the neighborhood, the block.
It's harder to take these for granted. Family, friends, the birdsong out the window, flowers blooming.
I know how my neighbor's garden is growing, whose freebox is picked over, where the plum trees are ripe.
I'm friendlier from afar, but nervous up close.
I miss hugs.
I miss hugs.
I miss hugs.
I miss my coworkers. I miss being employed.
I miss parties, concerts, theaters, restaurants, and bars. I miss girls' night out.
I miss the sound of a room full of people when they laugh all at once.
I miss sharing a meal over a crowded table.
I miss the unplanned, unmasked, casual gathering that spurs a spontaneous moment of sharing.
I miss togetherness.
R.I.P. high five. R.I.P. fist bump.
The world has slowed, and I have slowed with it. The world has sped, and I have sped with it.
Time pushes and pulls, halts and hurries. I try to live in the present. I pause, reflect, relax.
Despite the isolation, we are together, unified in the struggle and in the resilience we cling to each day.
I miss hugs.
I miss hugs.
I miss hugs.
The novel virus brought with it a novel fear, a chronic fear that reveals itself in the privileged safeties I took for granted every day.
What am I still taking for granted?
Vast inequalities have been brought to light. Sexism and racism, oppression and selfishness are more prevalent than I thought.
If I'm going to make a difference, first I must learn.
I'm more willing to question the way something is done, to ask why.
Just because it's how it's always been doesn't mean that's how it has to be moving forward.
I see the things that unite us overshadowed by things that divide us.
The world needed this slowing down, this awareness, this demanding better.
I find hope in the Black Lives Matter movement, the people willing to show up and fight for what they believe in.
I find hope in the younger generation, their calls to action. For them, I dream about a better future.
I find hope in the right to vote, in those working to help others access the right to vote.
May we direct our attention to climate change, to racial justice, to a new, inclusive, and equitable society.
The time for change is now. The world is fighting for it. The world is resisting it.
I'm weary thinking of the darkness ahead. I miss hugs.
I miss hugs.
I miss hugs.
What really matters in life has floated to the surface. I see the scarcity, I see the abundance.
I miss squeezing produce to see if it is ripe.
I miss reading at my favorite wine shop with a plate of French fries.
I miss strangers. I miss Chesky and Annie. I miss Camp Erin.
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 I miss Camp Erin. I miss how the kids blossom in only 3 days.
This too shall pass, and all this will just be a memory.
May we come out of this happier and stronger as a people, as a nation.
I miss hugs.
I miss hugs.
I miss hugs.
I live more gently.
Simplicity blooms, a puppy's kiss, and a hearty chuckle.
I find hope in people coming together for good, that this collective reckoning, this period of reflection will lead to necessary change.
The only constant is change. How will I change with it?
Through hardship, we learn new ways to care for each other, new ways to connect and stay grounded.
I take cues from the birds for a sense of routine.
I find hope in Zoom.
I look forward to reading that popular science article, the one that will tell us all we learned from Quarantimes.
Creativity is a light that shines across the distance of our separation.
Joy is still tangled with anxiety and the unknown.
I find hope in faith.
I find hope in science.
I find hope in nature, the wind, the birdsong, the wisdom of trees, the river, as I swim with it.
I know that I am truly and deeply loved.
Loved like never before.
I will hug again.
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 I quiet the noise.
I quiet the noise.
I quiet the noise.
I quiet the noise.
I quiet the noise. I quiet in the noise.
I quiet the noise. I quiet in the noise.
Miss you all. Yay, Camp Erin. Woo.